The UN Security Council has also expressed concern over the ongoing political stalemate in the Gambia. CGTN's Liling now reports on the Security Council's latest briefing on the situation in the West African nation.
Gambia took the spotlight at this session's Security Council meeting on West Africa as concerns grew about the Gambian president's reluctance to step down from office when his term ends next Thursday. President Yahya Jammeh, who lost to Adama Barrow in elections last month, had at first conceded but then later contested the results. Jammeh said he will not step down until the Supreme Court is able to hear his challenge in May. The African Union has said it will not recognize President Jammeh, and the UN is supporting mediation efforts by the Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS, to explore all avenues towards a peaceful transfer of power.
A high-level delegation has returned to Banjul today as we meet here, January 13, in an attempt to persuade President Jammeh to abide by the election results and to step down. They plan to leave no doubt about the determination of ECOWAS to use all necessary means, including force, to have the will of the Gambian people upheld.
On the use of force, the Special Envoy said that should this be necessary, ECOWAS will seek the AU's endorsement and the Security Council's approval to deploy troops. The aftermath of Gambia's elections have cast a shadow over what Chambers described as a rising tide of democracy throughout the continent, following successfully held elections in a number of countries. But he also warned the Security Council of elections in Cabo Verde, Ghana and Guinea, where scheduled polls have been postponed. Liling, CGTN, New York.
Well, let's bring you more now on the West African Regional Bloc's efforts to mediate. Of course, they're in Gambia. We're joined live now from Lagos by CGTN's Deji Badmus. Deji, a rather disappointing conclusion to talks there in Banjul, and it now seems ECOWAS leaders, sort of feel that they might have better luck in Mali. Tell us more about that decision.
Well, Lindy, you're quite right. A rather disappointing outcome, as a matter of fact. A lot of people had expected that the ECOWAS leaders were going to extract some kind of commitment now from President Yahya Jammeh. Unfortunately, that has not happened. Of course, President-elect Adama Barrow has flown out of the country. He's gone with the ECOWAS leaders now to that security summit called by the French government in Mali. The whole idea is that the talks will continue even in ECOWAS. So Adama Barrow will be able to meet with some other leaders, and that these talks will continue. And another angle that some people have been looking at this from is the fact that the date of the handover is drawing closer, and for his own security, as a matter of fact, it just might make sense for Adama Barrow to pull out of the country, at least for now, until this whole thing is sorted out. We do not know if he's going to come back to the country, but we expect that further talks will continue, and that the ECOWAS leaders will still try as much as possible to resolve this amicably. But there's no question at all that in Mali, further talks will continue. Of course, the leaders will also be speaking with Barrow, and of course, they'll be reaching out to President Jammeh to see if they can, strike a last-minute deal on this.
And as you say, it is rather encouraging that talks will continue in Mali. But of course, in Banjul, there were a number of offers on the table, none of which seemed to be enough to be able to tempt President Jammeh to step down. What options does ECOWAS really have left at this point?
Well, as a matter of fact, I think the process of negotiation and dialogue has not been exhausted yet. Even though the handover date is drawing closer, President Jammeh's term is supposed to expire by Wednesday. But, there's still plenty of time between now and Wednesday to be able to crack this. We just might get a last-minute deal on this. That's the way it works. And but of course, it's not as if after the 19th of January now, if the handover doesn't happen, that ECOWAS will just go ahead to put boots on the ground in the Gambia. That will take some time because it will require careful planning and would require logistics and budget. But we just have to wait and see. I still think the military option is still not an option that ECOWAS will be so quick to want to embrace. They will still try and see if they can resolve this peacefully. And if you ask me, if you ask my personal opinion, honestly, Lindy, I think we will see some dramatic developments in the Gambia in the next few days. Part of the reasons why President Jammeh is sticking to his guns is just because he thinks he has the entire military of that country behind him. But we might see some dramatic developments in the coming days that will just change the whole equation. And hopefully this will be resolved peacefully without resorting to any kind of, shootout.
Oh, Deji Badmus live for us there saying, of course, that West African leaders are still holding out for a last-minute deal in the Gambia.